And this is the second video because I fucked up the sound on the first video. UFC 191.
Yeah, they're...
Yep.
Joe Riggs versus Ron Stallings.
Now, I'm gonna tell. Let me tell everybody who's watching this that George is adamant on talking about this fight because it's on like the underbelly of the fucking junior varsity card on the preliminary fight pass card. Like, there's so many levels to this shit now.
Both these dudes are 32 and they could easily pass for AARP members. That's all I'm saying. It's going to be an interesting fight. A little slobber knocker, if you will.
It will be.
Joe Riggs has fought over 50 times. He's pulling up close to 60. It just, I don't know. It's
They're just old as shit.
Yeah, it's just an interesting thing to see. So you four people who have the fight pass, enjoy. For the rest of us, you will be tuning in for the stuff on Fox Sports 1 on the prelim.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I mean, you got John Lineker, but Ross Pearson. Ross Pearson's a guy I'll watch fight anybody because you know what he's going to bring. He's going to try to knock this dude Paul Fielder out.
Yes.
So it should be...
And there's the women's bantamweight on the preliminary card, Jessica Andrade versus Raquel Pennington. That ought to be a pretty decent fight as well. But let's move on to the main fucking card.
Let's do that.
Okay. Now, I just want to make sure you're all right.
Yeah, I'm stressing.
No, he's stretching. You know what, everybody? George is relaxed because before the camera turned on today, he had fucking Sam Bradford's dick in his mouth. And his nuts were. He's so excited that they have a franchise quarterback. You know, and he's trying to downplay it. But I know George, because he's like my boy, and he's like this, I don't know. Meanwhile, this motherfucker...
And what he means by like his boy is I'm young enough to be one of his children.
Yeah.
That's what he means. That's actually what he means.
He actually is. But I'm going to tell you what he's doing, okay? How I know George is excited, he says, oh no, we're going to be okay? When this nigga is sending me screenshots of Madden games, okay? Oh, dog! I just beat this motherfucker 90-3 in Madden, huh?
But Bradford's not even my quarterback in Madden.
I know.
I gave up 2 first-round picks in DeMarco to get my hands on Mariota.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So what else you do?
I hung 63 points.
See how quick I got him in the zone, shorty? He went right there, that fast. Damn!
Because I just showed him, because look, anyone who has an Xbox One know you can just tell the thing, record that, and it puts little 30-second clips together. And then when you do outstanding shit, Madden, the game itself is like, damn, that was good. It records it for you.
And I knew all the outstanding shit George did for the last 3 hours playing that game. Because you know what? It was like, bloop, bloop. Oh, that's nice. That's fucking Darryl Sproles' ass going into the end zone. Bloop,
Or
bloop.
Darren.
Right, Darren, not Darren.
Don't worry about it. Yeah.
UFC 191. Okay, the first fight of the night we are so excited about. I mean, it's a women's strawweight, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Why are we so excited?
Because it's Paige Van Zandt. If you know any of her cousins or anything, they put together. Ronnie Van Zandt, Leonard Skinner, you know, Tuesday's Gone, Freebird. I'm Psyche Boo Boo. She's not related to any of them. But I'm going to tell you what, because she has the best name by default, I'm going for it because I don't know who the fuck Alex Chambers is. Do you know who Alex Chambers is? Nobody knows who Alex Chambers is.
Time out.
Okay, what happened?
Did you just say Psyche Boo Boo?
Psyche Boo Boo.
Is that Honey Boo Boo's like distant cousin? Psyche?
Psyche Boo Boo. Because it's not happening.
Yeah, it's Psycho Boo Boo.
Psycho Boo Boo?
Yeah, that's how we did it. But hey,
Psycho
you know
Boo
you
Boo.
old heads, you got your own way about things. Someone's turning 50 very soon.
Who are you going for? I'm strong. I don't believe that shit.
That's what Jimmy said. And yes, Jimmy has been around.
I
Jimmy's
know.
like, that's one of the best looking 50-year-olds I've ever seen. I was like, that's one of the best anythings I've ever seen.
That's, I cannot believe it. Anyway.
Yeah, no, neither can we. You know the best way to surprise someone for their birthday? Have a birthday party 2 weeks before their birthday.
Had no idea, didn't see it coming.
I didn't do it, his girl did, but it was hilarious.
Didn't see the shit coming.
And the other thing I didn't see coming is Jan Blankowitz, who, yeah.
Look, we're moving on, actually.
We still fuck up names,
yeah.
And I'm the worst, because on top of that, it's just don't give a fuck. He's fighting Corey Anderson. Both these guys are relatively newcomers to the UFC, not to mixed martial arts. Jan actually has an 18-4 record, but this will be his only 3rd fight in the UFC, and right now he's sitting at 1-1. He's fighting Corey Anderson, again, fairly new guys to... This one's even new to MMA. He's 5-1 overall with 2 wins in the UFC and 1 loss. So, to me,
they both are coming off of losses.
Yeah, it's just a pick 'em. Like, flip a coin.
Okay, you got a coin? I got
White
Jan
guy
with
wins.
the funny last name. So, that's the first 2 fights, guys. I know that they're kind of uneventful, so George and I are not going to front like we know what the fuck we're talking about. When it comes
Next,
to these people.
motherfucker.
But, the third fight on the card is a good fight.
Yeah.
And that's Anthony
The
Ruffle Johnson.
Hamburglar.
The Hamburglar back. started eating enough hamburger, moved up 2 weight classes, and fucking was fighting for a title just a few months ago.
Yeah, and he lost to DC. Which,
he did.
I mean,
but he rocked that Bama.
No.
Probably broke his fucking hand.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay.
I got something for you.
But Anthony Rumble Johnson is going to be fighting Jimmy Manua.
Yeah, it should be a good fight.
And that could end up being a slugfest. I mean, they both have heavy hands. We know that. And, you know, Manu has put people down. But,
yes, he has.
But I just... Rumble Johnson, as of late, has been just impressive.
Yeah,
he just really is.
And it'll be interesting to see how he handles adversity, because this
Yeah.
is his first time coming back from a loss.
Right. And in the past, you know, he'd struggle. But, you know, I mean, I just think that going down to 170 was killing him. He just seems like a completely different fighter now.
Somebody needs to explain to me how he did it.
Wait, what's it? Man. This motherfucker's showing me a screenshot. Let me see if I can pull this up.
I can text it to you.
Look at this. Can you guys see this shit? Look at this. Straight out of Popeye's Cormier.
That's exactly how I feel about him.
Did you ever seen that video with
Dude,
him? It's all about that.
Dude, he got them Cosby eyes.
Yeah.
Then got the Cosby eyes. He might have the Cosby backpack.
You don't like DC. He just don't.
No,
give a
you
fuck.
don't. He didn't do that. Someone did that for him.
He did that video though,
I didn't see
where
him.
he's singing.
Oh.
It's all about that. When he's eating, it's all about that cake. About that cake. Have you not seen him doing that video eating the cake?
I mean,
It's all about that cake.
Yeah, and I turned it off.
Mm-hmm. Go look for
Brady
it, people.
Bunch background.
Anyway, who do you got? Do you have Rumble Johnson in
Yes.
this fight? Huh?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
What round?
First.
You think he's going to knock him out in the
Yes.
first round? You do.
Yes.
See? That's where the experience of real MMA analyst comes in.
Look, your boy Minowa, I mean, look, let's face it, he's only got one loss.
Minowa? Why are you renaming this motherfucker, man?
Minowa.
His parents gave him a birth name for a reason.
Look, Jimmy Manure.
God damn, that back in his fuck your surname. Fuck your surname. God damn, man. Could you fuck it up any worse? Minowa. What? Don't go to Hawaii, nigga. They will just kick you off the island, man.
That's too far to go anyway.
Is he even Hawaiian?
I mean, he's got one loss, and it's to Gustafsson. So look, this is not going to be a walk in the park for Rumble, but I think Rumble is just going to stretch him.
Define a walk in the park.
Eagles playing the Redskins, walk in the park.
Damn.
Don't really have to practice.
Kinda walked into that one.
Don't have to show up. You know they don't have a lot. I mean, I don't think.
So seeing that he's only got one loss and seeing that...
And that
this
it's
is
Gustafsson, and he's beaten Jimmo. He's beaten Serial Diabetes. I mean, he hasn't fought.
Did you say surreal diabetes?
Yeah,
That's some real diabetes.
I mean, if you look at who he's fought, he's beat everyone he's faced, with the exception of Gustafsson.
Okay. I agree with you.
So I just think Rumble Johnson wins this. Maybe it's not the first round, but I just think Rumble wins this.
I'm going to tell you what, George.
And if this motherfucker wins this puts him right in contention for a title fight.
Huh?
If Jimmy wins this...
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what. Dude, this is what I've noticed the last 2 shows we tape. You say something, and then you backpedal more than Richard Sherman. You're like, he's knocking this motherfucker out in the first round. And then you're like, I don't know. This guy, it's not going to be a walk in the park.
It's not, but I still think Rumble's going to win.
Huh?
I still think Rumble's going to win.
First round now?
Yes.
Oh, you going to stick with it? Alright. Okay, let's move on to a fight that George and I are really excited about. Not as excited as George is about Sam Bradford, but we're excited about this fight. It's a heavyweight fight.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Andrei Arlovski.
And one of these heavyweights looks physically more like a super heavyweight than a heavyweight.
And he is talking about Frank Mir.
That man looks like 6 pounds of shit in a 3-pound bag. His
Jesus
last fight...
Christ.
No, dude, come on.
I know.
His last fight versus Todd Duffy. Todd Duffy is not the boxer that Arlovski is.
No.
Duffy does not throw punches like Arlovski. And if Mir comes in looking like 6 pounds of shit in a 3-pound bag, and look, the last time I really remember looking at Frank Mir is when he was playing that size game with Brock Lesnar. That motherfucker was coming in peak shape, tip-top shape. He looked great. He was lean. He was strong looking. And then I saw this last fight versus Todd Duffy, and I was like, oh, he's on the Budweiser diet. He's just had a big old gut, and good. I mean, maybe he got hurt. Maybe he had a leg injury that prevented him from doing cardio. I don't know. I don't know if he did or didn't. I mean, maybe he did. You guys, I'm sure, could tell me.
Right.
But he just did not look like the same Frank Mir we'd seen in the past.
He didn't.
He looked like he rode off the street and like, look, I need 5 Gs. Come on, let's fight.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the thing. He was definitely out of shape. And everybody's going to say, yeah, some people are going to sit there and argue the point that he did beat Duffy. But let me tell you something. Duffy caught him a couple times, and Duffy is not, I mean, he's a pro, yeah. But we all know that he is not an elite UFC fighter. He rocked Mir a couple times, and then he throws just this wild right that's like out here. To the point that when he finishes a punch, he stepped into it, his hand is down here, and Mir just catches him with the fucking quick left hook and drops him. I mean, it was such an amateur's mistake by Duffy that Mir just capitalized on him. And I'm not taking anything away from Frank Mir's victory, but I think in the situation, most people would have capitalized on how fucking open his face. George, literally how open. It was like this.
He threw a left and was like,
well, yeah, and he was like this. He threw a right actually. Yeah, right, and he was like this. It was that easy.
It was bad. Just go watch it. It's on YouTube.
Yeah. So.
And now he's fighting Arlovski, and since Arlovski's come back to the UFC, he's been on a straight up tear.
Yeah.
He's 3-0 since coming back to the UFC. His last loss was to Anthony Johnson.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and it was a decision.
Yeah, my money's on Arlovski. I think Arlovski's going to catch him.
Mm-hmm.
I think Arlovski tries to keep the distance, get in, pepper, back up 1-2, because Mir's a big guy.
Yeah.
But if Mir gets us to the ground,
it could be trouble for Arlovski. Yeah, I mean, I think Arlovski, I mean, he's knocked out Travis Brown. He's knocked out Antonio Bigfoot Silva. He beat Brendan Schwab. I mean, he beat Mike Kyle. He got the loss to Anthony Johnson, but other than that, people don't realize Andrei Arlovski has not lost since February of 2011. That's
how about March
over 4
of 2013 when he lost to Anthony Rumble Johnson?
I said besides that.
Oh.
Yeah, besides that. I mean, he lost to Anthony Johnson then, but that's his only loss in 4.5 years.
And I think, unfortunately, a lot of us, when we think Andrei Arlovski, we think when he had Fedor beat, and then he gets knocked out he loses that, and then he gets knocked out by Brett Rogers, and then he loses to Antonio Silva, and then he loses to Sergey Karchanov,
right?
Whatever. I think that little 4-fight run, people are letting them define what their opinion of Andrei Arlovski is.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say he's back, but I think he's on the right track. Because when you go and you click on Kevin's old favorite fighter of all time, Brett Rogers, and you look, that dude's garbage.
Right.
I mean, that was probably the highlight of his career right there.
Then you look at Mir's record. He beat Todd Duffy, and he did beat Bigfoot Silva before that. He knocked him out. I forgot about that.
Via headshots?
Yeah. I mean, you can't miss that head.
No.
But I mean, but prior to that, he lost to Overeem, he lost to Barnett, he lost to Cormier, and he lost to Dos Santos. I mean, those are all decent fighters. But 4 losses in a row. Who do you have in this fight?
I got Arlovski. If this stays upright, Arlovski wins in a landslide. If this goes to the ground, Arlovski's going to have a problem because Arlovski's a smaller heavyweight.
In a landslide?
In a landslide.
Well, it's like a public election.
Arlovski's probably going to be around 220, 225. Mir might have to cut weight to hit the 265 top end. Yeah. So he's going to give up anywhere between 30 and 40 pounds to Mir. That's a lot of weight to have on top of you if you're on the ground.
I mean, I can't remember what he looked like when he fought Bigfoot Silva.
Who?
Frank Mir. I mean, I know he looked really bad. I mean, when we say he looked sloppy, he looked very sloppy fighting Todd Duffy. And I know if he comes into that type of physical condition, he's going to have some problems getting through the first round. Because Arlovski's going to be on the move. We're actually looking at a video right now of him fighting.
Possibly
looking at a video.
Possibly
maybe slow.
Man. We got a fucking bootleg internet.
But we're talking about my bootleg internet, man. That's it right there.
It's not a touchscreen. Don't you, like, seriously, for anyone who's under, I don't know, the age of 50, don't you hate when you're on your computer and the person next to you starts tapping the screen and shit, and you're just like, it's not a touchscreen. Now I understand a lot of you probably have that when
I didn't touch this shit. I was pointing like motherfucker.
He tried to double tap the screen like clicking on a link. I'm like, I'm sorry, this isn't a Windows 8 machine. You can't double tap on links. It's not how my shit works.
I was not trying to touch this. I was like pointing at it. Like push play, nigga. Like that's what I'm saying.
Giant ass fucking digits, man.
Let's see.
Motherfucker.
Oh my god. See, that's why. That's typical. It's a fucking video game. Oh, you're done? You send me shit like that all the time via text message. Okay, let's move on to the main event so everybody doesn't roll their eyes at us, which you're probably already doing. And that's going to be Demetrious Johnson.
This is what he looked like. Look. You can see right there he wasn't as heavy.
Yeah, he looks much better. So if he can come in that shape, it's going to be a fight. If he's not sloppy, you know...
Mir needs to be closer to like 240, 245.
Right.
The lower end, like mid part of that weight class. But anyway, he doesn't have a good track record of doing that. And that leads us to
the main event.
Probably, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best pound for pound fighter in the UFC, and he's overlooked because he weighs 113 pounds.
Yeah. Soaking wet.
And that's Demetrious Johnson.
With a bag of nickels in his pocket.
The dude is nasty.
He is. And he has torn through everybody. He's won his last 8 fights. He's done it every way you can. He's knocked people out. He's submitted him. He's beaten by decision.
This will be his 7th title defense. Which, I mean, is just unprecedented. I mean, not unprecedented. I mean, other fighters have done it, yeah. But it's just...
Yeah. I mean, the last time he lost was outside of his class when he fought Dominic Cruz, who was the champion, and he fought him at the bantamweight, in the bantamweight class.
And he's made a home at 125. And the thing that, if you've watched this show ever, or you want to go back and watch an old one, we used to beat up GSP for just coasting.
Yeah.
For not trying to finish, for winning his 2 or 3 rounds and doing just enough to squeak by.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring that up is because Demetrious Johnson in his last fight won in the 5th round. And I don't mean like time expired, stood up, stuck his hands up in the air. I mean, he submitted a dude with an armbar in the 5th round. Like, he was still, with 1 second left to go, like, he was still trying to finish the fight.
Yeah.
And that's, in my opinion, the kind of champion I want to see. Now, you're probably going to be up a little late, because if you look at this dude's track record, he doesn't...
He takes it all the distance. I mean,
he can go the distance. It looks like in most of the majority of his title defenses have been of the 5-round variety.
And you know, he's going up against John Dodson, who he beat back in 2013, the beginning of 2013, via unanimous decision. But Dodson has been on a tear too. I mean, if you look at what he's done, his work of art, as you could say, over the last few years.
I like body of work better.
Body of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Body of work. No, let's go with that. Body of work.
Yeah. Working body.
Yeah. Working. He since his loss to Mighty Mouse,
he rebounded
Johnson,
with 3 straight wins.
3 straight wins. And he's beat some good people. I mean, especially John Moraga. He was good, and he beat him quickly. TKO. So
doctor stoppage in the 2nd. It's gonna. I think you know what you're in store for. It's gonna be a high tempo, fast pace action fight. I don't think there's gonna be a lull in this. For people who get tired, this might be one of those where you want to see it go 5 rounds.
Yeah, and for people who have been, you know, MMA enthusiasts for quite some time, this is very reminiscent of GSP John Fitch. I really do. I feel like GSP was dominant in that division, and John Fitch was the 2nd guy, and no one was beating Fitch for a while, and he got a couple shots at GSP and he just came up short. I think that's what's going to happen again this night. I think that Johnson's just going to be too much for Dodson. I think it's going to go the distance though, and he's going to win unanimous decision. What do you think?
4th round.
4th round.
TKO.
Now, let's move on.